Hey, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Stores, and in today's video we're going to be going over a notice that was released by Pearl Abyss last night in regards to some content that's coming to Black Desert Console before the end of the month, I guess. And also they're talking about some changes that may be happening in regards to the roadmap that was released earlier. We did a video about that. If you haven't seen that, I suggest you go and check that out. But there may be some changes to the roadmap finishing off the content for the rest of the year. So we're going to get into all of that. Make sure you stick around for the whole video so you know exactly what's going on in regards to content coming to Black Desert this month and for the next month or two. So guys, if you like this sort of content, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, hit the notification button so you get told when future videos drop. We do lots of guides and we're covering all the updates that are happening with Black Desert Console, so make sure you don't miss out any of those in the future. But with all that said, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so here we go with the update. It says a look at this week's update and future content. Basically, they're going to be covering a few things: Season Plus graduation, Progression Pass, the Old Moon Guild's best deal, which is what they're calling the upgrade method for the pen, weapons and armor enhancing system, changes to the Medaya Conquest Wars, and also Khan, the new guild boss, is coming. He's technically a world boss, but they're only releasing him as a guild boss to start off with because there is some issues with basically consoles can't handle it as a world boss, so it's being released as a guild boss. So we're going to get into all of that stuff right now. Basically, it says right here, thank you for your continued patience as we continue to roll out updates for the second half of 21. Today we're going to look at some of the content that is planned, as well as provide a preview into the content of this week's update. So there's an update coming 2 days from now, so it'll be, well, depending on your time zone, it'll be a day or 2 days from now. Alright, so the first one is Season Plus graduation and Progression Pass. So Season Plus graduation is coming this week, and they're introducing the Progression Pass as well. And it says here, from the last week of October, you'll be able to graduate from the Season Plus service. So that's this week. Alongside graduation comes the Progression Pass and the guaranteed pen boss gear enhancement method. So this is something that a lot of people have been really anticipating. I did a video explaining this. If you guys haven't checked that out, I suggest you go and watch that. We're going to talk a little bit about it in a second, but I did a full video covering how it'll all work and what exactly you're going to need to do your pen gear enhancements. So I suggest you go check that. Alright, so moving on, we've got new adventurers who just recently started, maybe a little confused as what they should do after graduating from Season Plus servers. The Progression Pass contains goals and objectives that are not overly difficult, but will give you some directions on where your adventures should take you next. So basically, guys, what this Progression Pass is, you know when you guys play the game, like for the vets who've been playing the game for a while, you guys will all know this, right? You do the main storyline, which is like what everybody should be doing the first time they play the game, is do the main story, right? Because you learn a lot of things about the game, you learn how to use your character, you learn like the mechanics of the game, and you get a lot of rewards that help you on your way. But then you finish the entire main storyline and you're left sitting there going, well, shit, what do I do now? So this is basically this system that they're introducing, and it gives you a bunch of things that you guys can do after you've completed Season Pass. So you've got like quest objectives, things that you could do. These quests will probably be things like, you know, the suggested quest. It gives you things to accomplish. It's going to have like combat goals. It's going to have life skill goals, and just basically just going to be like, it's exactly what it is. It's a progression path. It's a growth path that's going to give people kind of like an idea of what to do next, so that they're not sitting there running in circles going, fuck, I don't know what to do, and then they get bored of the game and quit because they just can't figure it out, right? It's easy for people who are on a guild because you've got people that you can ask questions on what you can do. But for those people who don't know people, they're not in a guild, right? They're sitting there going, well, what do I do? Well, this is going to be for them, and it's really going to help people. And I think this is a really good introduction into the game. So that's basically what this is. And we'll probably cover this more in detail once it's released and it's all been translated to English and we can all read it, right? Okay, so moving on, we've got the guaranteed pen enhancement method. Guaranteed, not free by any means. It's actually you know, for the first couple, it is affordable, but it does get to be a little bit expensive towards the end, depending on how many pieces of gear you're actually going to be doing this with. But to be fair, it does kind of balance out your first ones are cheaper than the market value, and the last ones are more expensive than the market value, but it does balance out a little bit. So but if you guys want to check out the video, make sure you go and watch that. I already covered that. It says, until now, the only way to obtain pen boss gear was to either purchase it from the central market or enhance it yourself. This new method has been introduced, and we hope that you choose the method that best fits you. The good thing that I like about this, guys, is that the N1s are quite expensive, and it also puts a demand on enhanced boss gear, because to do this you need Pry Duo and Try boss gear to melt down. So one thing that I really like about this is that it's not going to destroy the market. Like a lot of the updates, actually almost every single update where there's been new content or a new system that has been introduced to the game, for example, it has completely destroyed the economy in BDO. And the one thing I like about this is that this is not going to do that, because it actually puts quite a demand on enhanced boss gear. And it's not going to ruin the value of pen boss gear, because some of it is more expensive. So there's still going to be a demand for central market sold boss gears, pen boss gears. So that's really good job for Pearl Abyss for thinking that through a little bit. Alright, so the Medaya Conquest Wars, guys, is basically, it says the next up in regards to the Medaya region, specifically in the context of Conquest Wars. Originally, this week's update was to include both Valencia and Medaya. However, as we're working on optimizing Conquest Wars specifically for console, we will be releasing Medaya first in this week's update. Speaking of Conquest Wars, the pre-season of Conquest Wars alongside Conquest War guild costumes will begin on November 10th. That's the new costumes that they're introducing, so that you can tell which team apart, and that's meant to help optimization performance in the game if everybody's wearing the same outfit and not or everyone having all different outfits. So the preseason will last about 2 months, and if you succeed in your wars, you'll be able to earn up to 3 billion silver. As we draw close to the release, we will provide more information regarding preseason and the rewards that you can obtain. Then on November 24th, we will aim to apply the new optimization strategy that we have alongside releasing Valencia Conquest Wars. So it says here, to briefly explain, the current Conquest Wars are held on respective servers, guys. So basically, Serendia Conquest Wars are held on Serendia, Balanos on Balanos, and Calpheon on Calpheon servers. That's basically how it works. What they're going to be doing is they're creating an independent server for each of the Conquest Wars. So that means when Node Wars or Conquest Wars are on, the current servers, you're not going to have monster despawn and all that sort of stuff, because you're not going to be getting interference from Conquest Wars. So that's really good, especially for EU, which is limited on servers as it is. That's really going to help like the influx of players all moving into like Valencia or Medaya, for example, right? Okay, so that's really good right there. Now we've got Khan Guild Boss coming as well. So they're not adding Khan as a world boss, they're adding it as a guild boss. In the case of Vel, the conversion from a world boss to a guild boss is taking more time than expected. In order to ensure that it's complete conversion, a bit more development time is required. Accordingly, Vel is currently planned for November, and to hold over our seafaring adventurers, Khan will be released first. As there are many people who are eagerly awaiting their chance at fighting Vel and obtaining Vel's heart, we will continue to work harder and prepare the updates accordingly. We thank you for your patience and your understanding. So taking a look at the letter that they released and announced to the roadmap, Vel was actually supposed to be released this month in October, and looked like Khan was meant to be released in November. So they're doing the old switcheroo there, because obviously there's some issues there. We've got our Caphras 10. The Node Conquest Wars is coming. That changes for that, except we're not getting Valencia. We're getting just Medaya to start off with. We've already got Sakrakia and the season servers we've got. So it looks like some things, they're just moving some things around. Obviously, then they can't keep up with it. Looking at November, we still have a bunch of stuff here that we haven't spoken about, but looks like Khan is now going to be Vel instead of the other way around. So for future content, it says, in addition, CM, Sherna, and Trent's update streams, and through the community as a whole, we've been collecting the opinions of our adventurers. Among the various opinions and suggestions of our adventurers, I would like to briefly talk about some of the things that are currently being prepared These are things that are being developed, and it's unfortunately not possible to announce an exact release date. However, as soon as it's completed, we will be sure to let our adventurers know. Now, I've had a quick read of these before I did this video, and there's some good stuff in here, so make sure you guys listen to this, right? So they're improving the looting improvements, right? Improving looting button press, right? Optimizing how we're going to be looting and gathering. So basically what they want to do is they want to, like, instead of having like to press, if you're out gathering, for example, instead of having to like press holding down Y triangle for one, and then moving to a different one, holding down Y triangle, then moving to a different one, holding down. Like, it's very slow, and whereas PC just have like a click together sort of thing, which increases their silver per hour and their gathering rate. So basically what I think they're trying to implement is a continuous press. So like if you have all of the, say, like sheep, for example, if you have all the sheep surrounding you, and you just you press Y or triangle, you hold it down, it'll gather one, and then it'll gather another, and then another. And as long as they're in a specific range, I think they're going to implement a continued gathering where you only have to hold that button down, and it'll just keep gathering until everything is collected that's in a specific range. So that's a really good quality of life for people who do a lot of gathering. So saving a character's view, this is something that we touched on in the partner podcast that we did recently. And basically what they're trying to do, guys, is just change the way that the camera function works on console. It's pretty gross where at the moment you've got to like hold the right stick in, or like R3 in. You got to zoom, you got to hold it in for like X amount of seconds so that it registers, and then you've got to zoom all the way out, which takes, it's kind of slow and not really nice, and then that's it. But if you like do anything like change character, change server, or go into observe mode, your camera setting gets reset, and you're like zoomed back in really close, and then you got to zoom back out. So they're looking at a way that you can like save your settings, so that it's going to be like an account thing. I assume you only have to do that once, which is really nice as well. So it also says that they're trying to like change the way that the camera is used, just to make it a little bit like more nicer and easier to use. On PC it's quite easy to use, on console it's not very nice. So they're trying to fix that. And there even says here, it says they're considering changing the default key to make it easier to control the camera without having to press that right stick in. So that's really nice. And to finish up, guys, just a note here, it says finally it's taking more time than initially expected as we continue forward with the roadmap, whether it's due to the development workload for said content or due to developing new ways to optimize the game. It is for those reasons that the content of the roadmap, which was released earlier in September, is being somewhat adjusted. We know that adventurers have been waiting patiently for the updates listed in the roadmap, so we would like to introduce the content that can be brought earlier than originally intended to console. We apologize and ask for your understanding that the schedule may change depending on a variety of situations. As always, we thank you dearly for your passion and continued support for Black Desert Console. Alright, so taking a look at the roadmap, guys, November, we're meant to be getting, this is what we're meant to be getting. Mansions is meant to be coming, Doom Horse is meant to be coming, Vel Now Not Khan, and the Enhanced World bosses. So that's starting off with, I think it's Nightmare Zaka is going to be the first one, and then it's going to be following on, I think it's like every 2 weeks or every month or something. They're going to give us the other ones as well, like the new Nuva, the new Kudum, and the new Kuranda. So we'll see what happens there. December, Odalita and Fallen God Armor. So whether or not, guys, that this is just a fact of like they've just kind of committed to too much at one time, or maybe like with like COVID, they're kind of stressed a little bit or strained for like they don't have enough workers or devs or something that can do all the thing. I don't really know what's going on, but for whatever reason, it looks like this timeline here is not going to be what they're sticking to. Like I said, they're going to bring things forward if they can. If something's like a little bit easier to finish and get completed and implemented in the game, then other things, they'll bring that forward so that we can get more content faster. And then the other things that are taking a little bit longer, that'll be pushed back. So whether this is all still going to be coming before December, I don't know. But it looks like the order in which we're going to be getting certain content isn't going to be what is written here. But that's okay, guys. Look, at the end of the day, like the good thing is that they are actually communicating with us, right? This is like the most important thing, is that they're actually communicating with the community and they're letting us know like what's going on, certain things are changing. That's really nice and it's really good to see. And it's one of the things that kind of we've been pushing for as the community, is just to have a little bit more communication with what's going on in regards to like content and changes and things like that. So really nice to see. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you think about this letter, what you think about the content that we're getting in the next update and in future updates. Curious to hear all your guys' feedback. So I look forward to chatting with you guys in the comments. Don't forget to join the Discord if you want to come chat with me personally. And as always, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, guys. You don't want to miss any future content. I appreciate all of you guys for watching and all your support. And I will see you in the next video.